Hi, welcome to my latest video. Today I'm going to be removing this interior ceiling light and switch panel in a Land Rover Freelander 2. This is the model without the sunroof, so hence this plank here. The reason I'm going to be removing this is I'd like to fit some extra switches and press buttons here and here for my roof lights and the amber lights that I've got at the back of the roof. Unfortunately, in the Freelander 2 there isn't really anywhere else where you can put the switches or buttons. Here, this panel here doesn't have much room behind it. I've seen some people mount them here, but that's going to be very difficult to get to. I'm going to remove the vent and try and work around here. I don't want to remove the whole dashboard here. This panel here is easily removable, but there's not much room underneath. Likewise there. I've seen some people put switches here. That's a possibility, but I want to keep this here. This is the handrest, so that when you're driving you can press the screen without your hand bouncing around. And that's about it really. Possibility of putting some here or here, but again I don't really want to remove all of this, so I thought why not put them up here. There's space, there's a blank here which I could drill out and fit, and there's also 12 volts already fed to this for the interior light, and it's quite easy to run the wires from here, as you can see I've done with my dash cam here. Run the wire along and down. That panel comes off easily. There's a screw under the airbag, little plate there that says airbag. You just pop that out, there's a screw, that panel comes out, and then your wires are straight down. Then behind the glove box there's a fuse box, and you can also get through to the engine bay quite easily as well. So quite a good place to put switches. It also keeps them up out of the way nice and neat, and then if you're driving along, if I wish to turn on the amber lights at the back, I can just press the button, or likewise disable the roof lights. If it's snowing or foggy, then I don't want the roof lights to come on, so I can easily turn them off. So I've bought a couple of little switches, a little blue press button here, illuminated push button. I've also got an amber one there, so these are from Halfords. I'm hoping that there might be enough clearance for the contacts and the body of the switch behind here. I think this car's probably got microphones fitted to one or both of these little meshes here, because I've got the hands-free kit. This is an XS model that has the Bluetooth hands-free. So what I'm going to do is remove this panel, and we'll have a look behind. Now this panel is pretty difficult to remove. There are some clips here, two at the front, there, and also one on each side. So a little trick is to just get something like a blunt dinner knife and pop out the lens cover for the lights. There we go. And then the actual bulb holder should just pop down. Like that. Okay, so this is how you get access to change the bulbs. I'm going one step further. I'm just going to pull that down. Just be aware, because there is 12 volts on here, so we don't want to short anything out. And now we can see up inside. Now, as well as the 6 kind of clips, you can see here that there's actually a inner plastic ring. Sorry, in a metal. I think it's metal actually. Metal sort of ring that sits in the hole in the head lining, and the plastic clips on this bit clip into that metal ring. So you want to try to pull this down, leaving the metal ring behind, By pulling this light bulb holder bit down here, you can actually get in and actually pull it down. Now you can use something like a dinner knife to get in here and pop those. You see there, you can just see a little barbed plastic clip. There's more at the back. There's one at the back. These ones, some of them are sort of one way round, and then others are that way round. I think that's so that when you refit, you locate the back first, and then you pop the front and sides in. As well as that, there is actually, if I just pull this down, there are, you see there, some plastic pegs that go into those holes up above in the metalwork, and they are hard to remove. There we go. There we go. The whole thing's down now. Okay, so I've got a microphone here on only one of these, not that one, and lots of blank space here, loads of headroom here. So what I'm looking to do is to have one extra wire that comes off 12 volts here and runs down that pillar and somehow finds its way to the amber lights. Could actually go across here, down this pillar and through and back up the edge of the windscreen. And then for the main beam, because that's actually fed the relay that runs the roof lights is fed from the main beam feed to the headlights, I think I'll actually need to bring that up to the button and then back down again. Each button will also need a ground connection to allow the little light LED or neon or whatever the heck is inside this thing that lights up. You see there's 3 terminals there, so there's positive in and out, and then a ground to allow the light to come on. Okay, so what we want is that light to light up when the lights are active. Okay, right, so what I'm going to do is take this down, disconnect everything, and then drill out some holes here, probably just 2 holes there. Leave this blank as it is. 2 holes here and here for those buttons. Okay. So that's the buttons fitted. I just need to wire things up now. And you notice that these buttons are from Halfords. They've got 2 silver pins and 1 gold pin. I'm not totally sure which is which at the moment, but I'm kind of thinking the silver one's at positive in and out, and the gold is ground for the light. But what I'll do is I'll get the meter out, get my multimeter out, and just check continuity through that, just to make sure. Otherwise we're going to end up shorting things out and things are going to get hot and blow fuses. So I need to be sure of that before I start connecting things up here. I might be able to use spade connectors on those. I might need to solder them. I'm not sure, they're quite small, they're smaller than normal spade connectors. So we'll see how we get on. Okay, so what I've done is drilled two 20mm holes using a wood drill, which seemed to work perfectly well on the plastic. Marked out 18mm, about 36mm from this line here to the edge of these little grill. So I went 18mm across and just lined it up with the middle slot there. Drilled that, popped those switches in, and now what I'm going to do is just have a look at the lighting panel here and just try and work out what we've got here, because we've got a sort of double connector here, we've got another one here. So looking at this here, if I just find a pen to point with, a couple of things. First of all, when I removed this earlier in the video, I was levering it on this side. I've actually broken a piece out there, levering this side down to try and get over these little teeth here to pop out over the edge here. What I should have done is put up underneath, press this spring. So if that spring presses, that drops out and comes out. Much easier way to do it. So that spring is on the front. It's on the front here. So as this panel is fitted up, you want to be putting a little soft table knife or something up where that little cutout is, at the front there, not at the back like I did earlier on. Doing it at the back works, but much easier. Just pop something up the front just to press that spring. So, having a look at the lighting unit here. When I first looked at this, I thought this was the 0 volt because it went to the outside of the bulbs and went along to each of the bulbs in turn. And I worked out that this one here is related to the door, okay, because that only goes across here to this bulb, which is the one that comes on with the door when the door's opened. However, when I got my multimeter out and started probing about, I was getting minus 12 volts instead of plus 12 volts. So I've worked out now that I was wrong. This is 12 volts, even though it goes to the outside of the bulbs rather than the actual sort of contact on the tip of the bottom of the bulb. So we have 12 volts here to that bulb, this bulb, and then this one here is ground, permanent ground. Okay, so permanent ground, permanent 12 volts, permanent ground here. Okay, so that one goes through this switch here to here, so when that switch is in the on position, that is connected to there, that light comes on. It also goes through each of these switches here, so the switches are on the ground side of the bulb, so it's a positive, comes along through the bulb, through the switch to ground, okay? So the ground is on the 0 volt side of the bulb. So when these switches, these buttons are pressed for the map lights, they make the connection to ground, to this bit of metal here, which goes across to here to here. Okay. This explains why yesterday when I was having a look at this, I couldn't get the little LED bulbs in the lights to work. However, when I took them inside and put a 9 volt battery on them, the little lights lit up fine. That's because they're LEDs and I had my 12 volts backwards. LEDs only light in one direction. Okay. This one here is the door one. That's the door one. Okay. So when the switch is in the middle position, that one goes to here. So that is taken ground by the door. Okay, but there's more to it than that. It's not just a simple on-off grounding switch in the door. If you close the door, the interior light stays on for a while and then goes off when you either start the ignition or wait a few minutes. The bulb will slowly fade out. So there's more to that one than just a simple door switch. Okay, that wire on that one probably goes off to the central computer or something, which works out how long the interior light needs to be on and what brightness it needs to be. Okay, but these two bulbs here are simple on-off map lights with those switches there. So what I need to do is connect an extra wire to here with a piggyback spade connector to power my amber light, and that wire will then go off across here, down the pillar, somehow find its way to the amber lights at the back of the roof. Blue here is going to take a feed up from main beam through the button and back down again, so there's no positive needed for that, but I do need to just connect in onto here, ground, purely to get the little LED to light when I press the button. Now the gold connector is the ground connector. That connector there on its own is in, and that is out. Okay, so when the switch is made and that is grounded, the light then, the little illumination light comes on to light those up when they're active, which is what I want. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is refit this and run some various wires across to the various terminals, get this wired up, and then I'm going to pop the bonnet and run some cables up from the engine bay up this pillar through here to connect in, and then refit this, and then everything else will be done in the engine bay. Okay, so what I've done here is to wire up these switches, these press buttons here. So we've got a ground connection for each one on this gold pin, which is the ground for the LED. So those two ground cables go off over to here, piggybacked on that one there, this black, looks like a black and yellow wire, Okay, the positive end, this one here, I piggybacked one blue wire here, which goes to here, and then a black wire there, which is just disappearing off down here for now. The reason I've used black is the wire that is currently connected to the amber lights is black, so if this needs to run across the along the roof rails of the car or something like that, then I don't really want blue, I want black. For the main beam in and out, I've used blue, and I've just left these dangling as well. I've tied a knot in the end of the one that is the feed, the in. It's important that I get them around the right way, otherwise the blue light will always be on. But the amber light there, you can see, is working, and the blue won't work yet because it'll only light up when I'm on main beam with this switch made. And so the input here will come in from main beam, the output will then go off to the relay that energizes the roof lights. Okay, so this whole panel can actually be fitted back in now. Put that in. Now I've taken out those little plastic pins there, those pegs that were sticking out. There were 3 of them. This one here is fixed. I don't think they're totally necessary really. So what I'm going to do is try and get this located. It's a little bit fiddly getting things located right. pressing in all those clips. There we go. There you go, that's pretty good. It's not quite as hard in as it was before. That's probably because those pegs are missing, but that's good enough for me. That's in there. Yeah, could do with a little bit more closure there, but that'll do for now. I've kept the pegs. I can always pop that down and pop them back in, but it's all right for now, just in case there are any wiring issues. I don't want to put this up too permanently, just in case I need to pull them down. So there we go. That one's lighting. That one works, but doesn't light yet. Okay, so that's quite nice. That. Oops, I meant that. There we go. So not a bad, neat installation that. So then if I need to light up the amber lights, I'm going to press this, and that one up there, and then this one here will normally be enabled, and that'll light up blue when the roof lights come on. If I need to turn them off because I'm in fog or snow, or for some other reason, the MOT or whatever, I can just press that and turn them off. Okay, now what I need to do is tuck these wires up here, remove this panel, run them down, and try to find a way of getting them through to the engine bay somehow. So what I've done, after refitting that panel, I've tucked the wires under the edge of the head lining all the way across, and then I've removed that panel, the A-post panel. Okay, here's this panel here. So on this panel there is an airbag label, plate thing, sign. All you do, pop that out. There isn't an airbag underneath it, there is a screw. TX30 torque screw. Okay, which goes into this hole, one of these two holes here, and when you remove that screw, loosen it off, it doesn't actually come fully out, it's just a sort of screw that you loosen off part way, and then the panel pulls completely off. Okay, so there's one screw holding that panel on. So what I've done is cable tied those wires in to the existing wiring loom. Be careful of this, this is the sort of airbag curtain thing. Be careful not to interfere with that at all or get wires caught around it. So cable tie the wires neatly all the way down. Now what I will be doing is at some point removing the glove box and drilling through the bulkhead and putting a grommet through to run the wires straight through into the engine bay. So I've actually taken this back down again. I did refit this, but after the first test drive I was noticing that this whole panel was rattling a little bit. Just a slightly annoying kind of rattle, it was just a little bit loose. So I've refitted these three plastic pegs here and cable tied all the cables together just to keep everything a little bit more sort of contained and solid. And now I'll refit that, and hopefully that should now be a nice firm fit into that hole and not rattle about. It's held in a lot more firmly now. Clip that in. That's closed up the gap at the edge. That's not moving at all. It's not rattling when I drive either, which is good. So what I here, the other push buttons that I fitted weren't very good. One of them fell apart and the other one kept jamming on and couldn't actually turn it off. So I've replaced the push buttons with these nice little rocker switches. So this one here is for the amber lights on the roof, got a little LED, and this one here enables the main beam lights. If I put on the headlights, go to main beam, then that lights up then to enable the roof lights. I then turn that off, they go off, but the other main beams stay on. The other switch does the amber lights, which I've put on the roof bar, on the crossbar there, with some brackets which I've 3D printed. If you're interested in fitting similar lights onto your Freelander 2 and you'd like some of these brackets, then there'll be a link in the comments for this video. Okay, I hope that was useful. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.